So welcome to this episode. This is an addition of something we missed right on the singles page. So it would make sense to have a kind of next up articles. So the next up articles or similar articles right under the singles page or the article we are reading on the single page. So let me tell you in details what I'm talking about. So let me leave and go at the home page. So this is it. People come on and then they start browsing our articles at the home page. Then they find an article they want to read. Then they click on it and they are redirected to read the article. So right at this point, after reading the article, they get stuck there. So unless they click on the name again and go back at the home page to pick an article. So it would make sense and useful for the users to have some suggested articles right under this article. So this will give them the chance to already switch to another article before, without having to go back to the home page of our website. And this is important increasing the user's retention. So in our case, once we program this part, we are just going to pick up some random articles so that we don't always have the same articles suggested to the user. So let's add that model to the single page and see what we have. So in my case, I'll go and look for the single page, which is single here. So right under the article, that's this part. So after the time, we will find a place and insert that option. So this is the single wrapper. So it is going to be right inside that wrapper. So I'm going to add a heading, which is going to be a heading 2 or so. I think the title here has a heading 1. Okay, heading 2. So let's make this one heading 3, and here we are going to write next up, and then something like that. So we preview. So this looks really tiny. It looks tiny. So we'll have to style it and increase it again. So once we have that, we should have a list of articles to follow up. So one thing I would like to do is to create a list, and then for each list element I will have a heading 4 to contain a link, which will have a next up article title, something like that, and then right beneath it I will have a paragraph that will contain the lorem. So this is a small except, so I don't have to place a lot of text, so I'm just taking this off. So this will allow the user to be able to have a list of articles and then they can click on the title. So I'm going to say, let me add all this into a small div. So it will be like div and paste it inside. This will allow us to contain that element, that component. So we'll name it next articles, so something like that. So this will allow us to move this component wherever we want at any moment, and also to target the sub elements and style them. So if we do that, here we won't need the image, we just need to replicate the title and then the except, and that is it. You can see I also decided to ignore the date part. The most important thing is for us to bring up the user here. So if you decide to follow up in reproducing this website, so you can add some of these features to make it cool for yourself. So the next is to style it. So I'm going to look for the single area. So this is the single area. It goes up to here. So we are going to bring our next articles, so we'll bring it here. Then we are going to target the heading 3. I think we use heading 3 to be sure. Yes, and then we have to make it really big font size, so let's say 3M. Great, so it is catches the attention. So next to it we have the UL and then the LIs, the margins and paddings cancelled. Great, so it moves there. And then I also want to cancel the heading for the paddings and margins. I think it should be heading for then LI. No, sorry, next article. Okay, I did not specify the dot here. Okay, this works. So the paragraphs too is not okay, so I think we should also clear it for the paragraphs. Okay, I think that, yes, I didn't write P. Great, so this brings them closer. Now we can get rid of the list star type. None. Okay, so at this point, since we are dealing with the list element, that's the main container per article, so that's the actual wrapper for each one of the articles. So we can decide to give a margin bottom to each one of these elements, so they'll push themselves down. So margin bottom, let's say 2rem. Rather, this is okay. I applied it to a group, so I think I should bring this here. Great, and we do that. I didn't get it right, so there's something missing here. Cool, so we get this spacing in between them, which is too much, by the way. Good, so that's it. So we get this, and if possible, let me even say if I could add some, let me add some border around that box. So border 1 pixel solid, and then make it tomato, just to see how it goes. Great, so by doing that it gives us some small styling. So shouldn't I rather do that to the whole next articles elements? So something like this guy, yes, next articles element like this, then it covers the next up. What do you think? Alright, you let me know what you think. But for me, I think what I can do right now is to keep it like that and then clear the space here, but it does not harmonize the next up with this text here. It really breaks it down, so I think rather we should keep it as it was. Exactly, so have this text here, grab the user's attention right after this text, and then here we can just give it some padding of 1 to make it very spacious, or not too spacious, but let me add a bit. Great, so next up, and this makes it like a little component, yes, that contains the next articles. So great, that looks good. I hope you enjoyed adding this little thing on our single page. So if you do so, kindly leave your like and do the ritual. So this brings us to the actual end on our designing process. So now we have a complete website which runs perfectly. So here we go. So here the next, let me even add the single. So basically what I'm trying to do here is all these articles should lead us to the single.php page, single.php. So once we programmed it, it is going to be specific per each article. So this is it. So when you click, it should bring you to a single page, and here we are. So thank you so much for staying around, and see you in my next episode.